While the man was staring intently at Jong, his body began to emit a powerful green aura. The people around approached, and even though the man was quite far away, they could feel his strong aura. They started wondering what level of awakened he was. Seeing that he was talking to Jong Chen, they began to wonder if there was some kind of conflict. The man began to stare into Jong's eyes, and upon seeing this, he became somewhat nervous as it was quite strange. This man had been pressuring Jong for a while now without even saying a word, and he didn't know if the man was testing him. At that moment, the insect mother appeared. While she was licking her finger, she approached Jong and with a murderous look in her eyes towards the man, she told Jong that this man was a threat to him. To her, the man seemed delicious and she wanted to devour him. Jong panicked and knew something was wrong. His suspicions were not incorrect as several warning windows from the system appeared. The insect mother had detected a threat to Jong. The system considered that the man would provide a high value for devouring, and the insect mother was about to start devouring him. Jong's body began to emit a powerful aura, which started spreading in all directions. He quickly realized something was wrong because now Little Nine had detected a threat, and she was going to start attacking. Jong's powerful aura reached the students who were previously mocking him. They began covering their faces with their arms and wondering why Jong had such a cold and sinister aura. Jong became furious. With a murderous look, he began to stare into the man's eyes. He realized that when the devouring value was low, the aggressiveness of the insect mother increased. To prevent this from happening, he needed to find some monsters for Little Nine to devour as soon as possible. Seeing the powerful aura emanating from Jong, the man simply started smiling. And upon seeing the man's smile, Jong quickly realized that he wanted to test his strength, but unintentionally activated the insect mother. The good thing was that Jong was still able to suppress the insect mother. Without hesitation, Jong suppressed the insect mother and a system window appeared. He had temporarily suppressed the insect mother and her devouring value was low, so that this would not happen again. Jong had to start with the devouring and breeding of the insect mother as soon as possible. While the man had his hands in his jacket pockets, he began to stare at Jong and couldn't help but congratulate him. Although Jong had just finished his awakening, he was already able to face the man's tests and even counterattack. The man told Jong that he was worthy of a divine awakening, and he also added that his future was limitless. Jong simply stayed silent, listening. He felt relieved as he hadn't been discovered. He approached the man and while staring into his eyes, asked him who he was. The man began to smile, then extended his hand and introduced himself as Jai Gang, the leader of the Night Watch. He admired Jong's strength and asked if he wanted to join them. Upon hearing this, Jong was surprised as he did not expect Jai Gang to be part of the Night Watch. The Night Watch was an organization specially tasked by Grand Zia with resisting demons and hordes of beasts. Whenever there was a wave of beasts or a new secret realm or dungeon was generated, the Night Watch would always be the first to investigate or eliminate them directly. Due to the constant fight on the front lines, the mortality rate of the Night's Watch was extraordinarily high, and most people avoided it, but for Jong it was different. The insect mother needed to continuously devour the flesh and blood of monsters to accumulate devouring value and produce offspring. Currently, Jong needed an opportunity to confront large monsters, and once the devouring value was complete, the insect mother would start reproducing, and no one knew how much commotion she would cause. For this reason, the wild nature was a good place for breeding the insect mother. As long as Jong joined the Night Watch, whether by devouring or reproducing, the risks they presented could be easily dealt with. While Jong was looking at Jai Gang's hand, he couldn't help but smile since the Night Watch organization was perfect for him. The students started saying that the Night Watch had a high mortality rate. Most people didn't even go there, so the students thought that Jong Chen wouldn't join the Night Watch. Upon hearing this, Jai Gang forced a smile at Jong and told him that all the rumors about the Night Watch were a thing of the past. In order to prevent Jong from rejecting the offer, Jai Gang told him that as long as he was willing to join them, he would receive comprehensive training. Due to his divine rank, his resources were very valuable to the Night Watch. Without thinking twice, Jong shook hands with Jai Gang and called him leader, telling him that there was no need for further explanation. Jong began to stare into Jai Gang's eyes and told him that in order to restore the glory of the Night Watch, their generation should not shy away from their duty. After saying this, he explained to Jai Gang that he was willing to join the Night Watch. Upon hearing this, Jai Gang became somewhat confused. What he didn't know was that Jong planned on relying on them for the insect breeding. Jai Gang was shocked and asked Jong if this was true. Just before Jong could answer his question, the mother insect appeared and started sending system notification windows to Jong. She was very furious. She explained to Jong that she was not happy with this because she wanted to eat the man. After saying this, she started telling him that she was very hungry. Upon hearing this, he became nervous, closed his eyes and told Jai Gang that what he was saying was true. After saying this, he left with the excuse of having an important task to do. He began to distance himself from Jai Gang, slightly turned his head towards him, waved goodbye and told him that in 3 days he would be punctually present at the Night Watch headquarters. Jai Gang simply turned his head towards him and remained silent. He may have thought that this was going to be more complicated. He hadn't expected it to be so simple. He had forgotten to ask Jong what hidden profession he had. At that moment, 2 men fell from the sky and landed near Jai Gang. One of them was the 8th elder of the Martial Arts Academy. Jai Gang turned his head towards them and told the elder that if he was here to snatch people from the night watch, then he had arrived too late. The elder asked Jai Gang where the guy who awakened a divine rank creation class was. Upon hearing this, Jai Gang became somewhat confused. He turned his head towards the old man and asked him what he was talking about. The old man approached him and, while looking into his eyes with a surprised expression, asked if he was planning to let a divine ranked awaken from the creation category join the night watch just to die. Upon hearing this, Jai Gang realized that Jong had the divine ranked creation class. At the same time, Jong went to the city. A man named Uncle Wang asked him if he had been the one who caused the phenomenon in the main city. Jiang replied yes. A woman with purple hair approached Uncle Wang. She put her hand on her waist and asked him to lower his voice or he could die if someone looking for trouble came. Uncle Wang put his hand behind his head, closed his eyes, and started laughing. He told her that he was always talking non-stop. Jiang approached them, closed his eyes, and with a smile he reassured Uncle Wang not to worry because this was not something embarrassing. Uncle Wang turned his head towards Jiang and told him that even though the creation category couldn't fight, he had heard that companies always cultivated spiritual plants that needed people from the creation category. He told Jiang that if his parents were here, they would be very proud of him. Throughout the years, Jiang had been able to survive thanks to the support of everyone living in the same building as him. With a smile, he told them all that he wouldn't forget them in the future. Uncle Wang asked him not to worry about these small things. He also added that Jiang had arrived at the right time as they were about to go to a beginner-level secret realm to obtain some equipment. Uncle Wang wanted Jiang to join them and level up together. Jiang accepted the proposal and thanked Uncle Wang. At that moment, a system message appeared because he had completed the team formation. Several minutes later, Jiang and the others crossed the portal and entered the secret realm. While Jiang had his hands in the jacket pockets, he began to look around and started wondering if this really was the interior of the secret realm. At that moment, the torches of the secret realm lit up because the matching had been completed. All the monsters inside started looking towards Jiang and the others. This secret realm called Temple of the Dead was a C rank one, and it was currently open. The secret realm guaranteed a 100% drop rate for items and equipment. Experience points were going to be calculated after completing the secret realm. Voluntarily leaving halfway meant giving up on both experience and equipment. Uncle Wang became somewhat nervous as he realized that these monsters were undead soldiers. He began to wonder why the secret realm system had matched them with a dungeon of this level. Jiang started looking at the undead soldiers and realized that this secret realm was not going to be easy to deal with. The girl with purple hair approached them and explained to Uncle Wang that because Jiang was a divine ranked awakened, the celestial system had assigned them a higher level secret realm. Uncle Wang slightly turned his head towards her and reminded her that Jong Chen had awakened in the creation category. The girl with brown hair also approached Uncle Wang, and while looking at the undead soldiers, she asked him why they didn't abandon this secret realm. Just before she could finish speaking, Uncle Wang interrupted her. He began unsheathing his sword and told everyone that there was no problem, as they didn't come across secret realms of this level every day. He also added that this time, thanks to having Jiang with them, they would be lucky and get some great equipment drops. Seeing Uncle Wang unsheath his sword enraged the undead soldiers. Uncle Wang gathered momentum and while advancing towards the monsters, he asked Jiang to step back a bit since these undead soldiers were more dangerous than average C-rank monsters. Uncle Wang asked Jiang to stay behind while they advanced towards the core of the dungeon first. Uncle Wang attacked one of the undead soldiers with his sword, delivering a strong blow to its head. He turned his head back and asked Xiao Zai to quickly improve his talent. Upon hearing this, Xiao Zai clasped her hands together and activated her power, causing Uncle Wang's talent to improve. Thanks to this enhancement, Uncle Wang ended the life of the undead soldier monster. While Uncle Wang and the others were fighting, Jiang simply stood by watching from afar. He began to wonder if they fought against monsters every day just to survive. When thinking about this, he had no doubt why they always came back covered in wounder, yet Xiao Zai had always supported him. He had heard that she became an adventurer because she was forced to heal her brother's eyes. While he was staring at Uncle Wang and the others, he thought about becoming stronger quickly, and when he earned money, properly thanking them. While he was distracted, the insect mother began to manifest herself. She put her hand under her chin and while looking at the undead soldier's corpse, she told Jiang that there were many monsters and blood here, and she wanted to devour them. While Jiang had his hands in his pants pocket, he turned his body towards the undead soldier's corpse and started smiling. He thought that Little Nine had already detected the corpse. Given this situation, Jiang decided to first test Little Nine's abilities. He reached out his hand to the side and used the level 1 poison barrier skill called Corrosion. A fog of poison appeared in his palm, and he ordered Little Nine to devour the undead soldier's corpse. She thanked him, and the poison fog began to advance towards the corpses and slowly started to devour them. In a matter of seconds, the monster corpses began to disappear. Jong realized that the monster corpses corroded as soon as they made contact with the poisonous fog. After seeing this, Jong had no doubt that Little Nine's poisonous fog was very powerful. After Little Nine devoured the corpse, the devouring value rose to 10 points. The level of the monsters was too low, causing the growth rate to be slow, so Little Nine needed to devour more monsters. While Jong had one hand in his pocket, he slightly turned his head back and thought that Uncle Wang and the other two were truly partners who had been working together for years. In such a short time, they had already advanced to the depths of the dungeon. Since the poisonous mist was an area skill and Jong still couldn't control it accurately, there could still be accidental injuries. To avoid this, Jong decided to follow Uncle Wang and the others from behind and take care of the monsters' corpses. At that moment, Little Nine caught his attention. She told Jong that she felt something. Jong turned his head to the side and saw more monsters starting to emerge from the ground. Little Nine told him that she sensed freshness and blood in that direction. These monsters were level 10 shadow lurkers. They had a strength of 20 points, agility of 15 points, defense of 10 points, and stamina of 5 points. These monsters were lurking in the shadows to hunt down the weaker stragglers. While Jong was staring at the shadow lurker monster, he began to wonder if its name was in red because its level was much higher than his. However, in terms of attributes, these monsters were completely inferior to Jong, who had the skill enhancement united. A statistics window of Jong appeared. He had a devouring value of level 1. His identity was the Lord of Insects. His occupation was Divine Rank Spiritual Master, and he had 3 level 1 talents called Growth of All Things, Divine Evolution, and Ancestral Tree of All Things. Jong possessed the insect mother named Little Nine, or better known as Nine Miasma Wing. She had a Natural Calamity level. He didn't have any equipment. He had 35 points in Strength, 31 in Agility, 27 in Endurance, and 20 in Constitution. His combat power score was 41 stars. Currently, he had 2 active passive abilities called Experience Return and Attribute Enhancement. The current devouring value was 100 and the current experience was 0. Jong decided to test his skills. He reached out to one side and gave Little Nine the command to transform into a poisonous mist and follow him. She listened to him and transformed into a poisonous mist, which began to stick to the ground. At that moment, the monsters called Shadow Lurkers started advancing rapidly towards Jong. He brought his hand close to his face, and while his hand was releasing the poisonous mist from Little Nine, he started staring at the monsters. Several seconds later, he began running towards them. Upon seeing this, the monsters tried to attack Jong, but he dodged their attacks and in the process touched their bodies with his hand, infecting them with the poisonous mist. The monsters began to look towards the body part where Jong had touched them, and upon seeing poisonous mist, they became confused. While Jong was staring at the monsters, he extended his hand towards them, then clenched his fist tightly and started smiling. At that moment, Little Nine's poisonous mist grew thicker and slowly began to corrode the bodies of the monsters, gradually destroying them. Jong simply turned his head towards the monsters and remained silently watching. At that moment, several system windows appeared, and he gained 200 special price. While Jong was looking at the corpses of the monsters, he thought that they were no match for him. He began to smile as he saw that the devouring value was also increasing rapidly. As he was lost in his thoughts, Little Nine appeared and informed him that more blood food had appeared. Behind them, more shadow lurker monsters began to appear. Jong simply put his hands in his pockets and remained silent without making any movement. Then he turned his head towards the monsters, and while staring at them intently, he felt worried about Uncle Wang and the others as he realized that there were actually many hidden monsters in this dungeon. He decided to quickly finish off these monsters to go check on how Uncle Wang and the others were doing. He asked Little Nine if she would be able to deal with the monsters. Little by little, she began to manifest herself through the poisonous mist. While staring at the monsters, she reached out her hand towards them and asked Jong to leave them in her hands. As for her, all these monsters were small prey. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.